प्रत्यास्युभूतं नमामि गजाननं सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। योगिनं विश्वनाथाख्यम् अस्मत्तातस्वरूपिणम् आत्मलाभात् परं लाभं भक्तारं न कदाचन गीतार्थग्रन्थकर्तारं श्रीगुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम्। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मे वाचं धृतिं बुद्धिं प्रचोदयात्। ओम नमः सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमः। Om. We are going to be doing the 39th talk under Sanatana Dharma series, the subsidiary series Ancient Scriptures, in which we planned for 7 talks. This is the last of the 7 talks. Under that, the Upanishads, 5 talks we planned. This is the last of the 5 talks. So, Upanishads, 5 of 5. We have been talking about essence of the Upanishads all along. We shall continue the essence of Upanishads. But today we are going to be focusing our attention on 2 fundamental pillars of the entire Sanatana Dharma, namely the mantra Om and the mantra Gayatri. They are most important for the religious and spiritual pursuit by a Hindu. Without an explanation and study of Om and Gayatri, no understanding of the Upanishads can ever be got, can be complete. In fact, the Om itself is a mantra. You know, mantra power is the most common thing among all adherents of Hinduism, to whatever philosophy they belong, to whatever sect they belong, to whatever region they belong, in whatever time they belong. Mantra power is fundamental. The 2 mantras, as I told you, Om and Gayatri, are the pillars on which stands Sanatana Dharma. The word Om consists of 3 sounds, matras as they are called. A, U, Ma. A as in but, U as in put, and syllable Ma. So that is why many texts in English use the spelling A-U-M for Om, thus emphasizing the 3 matras. The esoteric significance of these 3 mantras and the myriads of connotations that they stand for are the subject matter of many a passage in the Upanishads. Not only Upanishads, the Gita and other scriptures. In fact, a whole Upanishad, of course very small, namely Mandukya Upanishad, devotes itself entirely to the explanation of the word Om. For this very reason, that Upanishad has been termed the quintessence of Vedanta. There is a last Upanishad out of the 108 Upanishads called Muktiko Upanishad. There it says, if a person cannot study all the 100 and odd Upanishads, it is enough for him to study one Upanishad, namely Mandukya Upanishad. The first commentary extant on this Upanishad was written by Gaudapada before the time of Shankara. This commentary is called Mandukya Karika. It is still the earliest known exposition, systematic exposition of the Advaita point of view of Vedanta. You can gauge the importance of the Upanishad by the fact that Shankara, when he wrote his commentary on the various Upanishads, and therefore also on Mandukya Upanishad, he merged the Karika, the Mandukya Karika of Gaudapada with the Upanishad and wrote a commentary on the Karika also. So now let us go to the content. The highest spiritual efficiency is attributed to Om. Om is the only ayatanam, resting place, to attain either the Parabrahman or the Aparabrahman. Aparabrahman means the inferior Brahman, namely Brahma, the creator, or the Saguna Brahman. Chandogya Upanishad says the Om was discovered by Prajapati, the creator himself, through meditation for the benefit of the world. It is the quintessence of the Vedas. Our entire speech is permeated by it, pervaded by it. Why? How? Just as a leaf is spread over by the ribs. I am quoting from Chandogya Upanishad. As all leaves are held together by a stalk, so is speech held together by Om. Ideas and things are inseparable. Words and ideas are also inseparable. You cannot have the idea of God without the word which expresses God. But God is the basic fact of the universe. So what word represents Him, the God, should be the most basic, most natural, and most comprehensive of all sounds. Such a word is Om, A-U-M. A, as pronounced in that, is the root sound pronounced without the tongue touching any part of the, touching any part of the tongue or palate. A. Ma represents the last sound in the series pronounced with closed lips. The U rolls from the very root to the end of the sounding board of the mouth. Thus, Om represents the phenomena of the sound production. Kathopanishad says Om is the highest goal of all religious striving. It is the imperishable support and best means for resting the mind. Now I am quoting from Kathopanishad. The best of minds can think of Brahman without Om. But the middle ones, the middle minds, mediocre minds, can superimpose the idea of Brahman on the symbol Om and meditate on Brahman. Of course, the inferior minds can worship Brahman in the symbol Om. The word Om is the supreme prop. I will show you the quotation from the Kathopanishad. Yes. You see four quotations here. The first one is from Mundaka Upanishad. I will come back to it. The other three are from Kathopanishad. Look at the last one. Etadalambanam shreshtham, etadalambanam param, etadalambanam yatva, brahmaloke mahiyate. It is the one prop. It is the it is the support, fundamental, supreme prop to reach Brahman. Etad alambanam shreshtham. Alambana means prop. You hold on to it and you will reach Brahman. It is the one thing which is talked about by all the Vedas. Sarve Veda Yatpadamanante. The second quotation on the screen. Sarve Veda Yatpadamanante. So that is the one thing which is talked about by all Vedas. It is for this alone that sages do penance and undergo austerities. Yadichanto, by desiring which, brahmacharyam charanti, they follow brahmacharya. Tatte padam sangrahena pravikshen, om bravimi, om itchetate. Om is the, in short, it is for that everybody is doing brahmacharya, and it is talked about by all the Vedas. Sarve Veda Yatpadamananti tapamsi sarvani yadvadanti. All the penances they do it for this purpose. Yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti. They follow all kinds of penances like brahmacharya, desiring this. Tatte padam sangrahena bravimi. I will tell that to you in short. Om ityesate. That is Om. Etadyevaksharam Brahma. Etadyevaksharam Param. Etadyevaksharam Nyatva. Yo yadichyante tasya tate. This is Aksharam Brahma. This is the inferior Brahman. This symbol is Brahman, the lower Brahman. Apara Brahman. Etadyev. This symbol, Akshara, this letter, syllable, also represents the Param Brahma. Param Brahma is the supreme absolute. Etadeva aksharam nyatva. By knowing this syllable, yo yadichanti tasya tate. So that is what everybody wants. It represents both Brahman with attributes and the Brahman without attributes. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad marks Om as identical with Brahman, Akshara Brahman. It serves as a means of meditation to reach Brahman. Mundaka Upanishad has the beautiful allegory. The first one, as you can see there on the screen, Pranavo dhanusharo hyatma brahmatallakshya muchyate apramattena vedhavyam sharavattanmayo bhavet. Pranavo dhanuhu. Pranava means the Om. That is the Om is called Pranava. It is the arrow, Dhanuhu. Sharo Hyatma. Then what is the arrow? Arrow is Atma. For what? Brahmatallakshya muchyate. To reach the target of Brahman. Brahma is the Lakshyam. Pranavo Dhanu Sharo Hyatma. Brahmatan Lakshya muchyate. Use Pranava, use Om as arrow. Use the bow as you use the Atma as your arrow. Dhanu is the bow. Sharaha is the arrow. Brahmatallakshya muchyate. So, Om as a bow and Atman as the arrow, it is shot towards Brahman, the target. Who is to do the shooting? One who is free from the error of desire, to enjoy external objects, who is detached from everything, who has control. Who has control over his senses and has concentration of the mind. Just as the success of the arrow consists in becoming one with the target, the person who is free from the error of desire, he must be free from any desire to enjoy external objects. He should be detached from everything. He must have control over his senses. He must have concentration of the mind. Then he shoots the arrow. The arrow of the Atman is an allegory, as you see. So, Pranavo dhanusharo hyatma. So one should bring about the result consisting in becoming one with the imperishable. We must become one with the target. That is how the arrow is shot. So how do you become one with the target here, target of Brahman? By eliminating the body, etc., being the self. I am not the body. Naham dego na indriyanyantarango nahankara pranavargo na buddhiji dara patya kshetra vittadi duragam. I am distant, far distant from everything material, from my kith and kin, from my dear ones, from my body, from my mind, from my opinions. By eliminating the body, etc., being the self, that is the way to become one with the imperishable Brahman. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Omiti Brahman, Omiti Idam Sarvam. Om is everything. Om is Brahman. The word Om is the primeval word which stands for the entire universe permeated by Brahman and therefore Brahman itself. There are three sounds that go to make up Om. The three sounds, as I told you, is A, U and Ma. A is the syllable which opens the mouth to speak any word. U is the syllable which allows the tongue all positions from the palate to the lips. Or your tongue moves everywhere. And Ma is the vocal movement one moves to close the lips. Every sound which man can produce is between the extremes of A and Ma. Together with the intermediate stage of U, it represents everything words represent. Esoterically, now another way of looking at that. I am bringing things from the various Upanishads. Esoterically, the A stands for the first stage of wakefulness. All this is certainly in Mandukya Upanishad and referred to in the other Upanishads also. A stands for the first stage of wakefulness, Jagrat. We experience in the Jagrat state, in the wakeful state, our gross body experiences the totality of all experiences through our mind and sense organs, of course. The Wu stands for the next stage of experience. What is the next state? Dream state of sleep. What happens then? The mental experiences are available. The mind roams about, though erratically. It's the mind only that is awake now. It does not need the help of external organs or any presence of rationalizing intellect. The mind freely roams about. That is why the two kinds of experience, the experience of the dream state and the experience of the wakeful state, they are totally contradictory sometimes. In the state of deep sleep, however, represented by the sound Ma, there is no consciousness of any experience. I did not realize anything, we say later. Because the mind has gone to sleep. But mark it, still there is an awareness after the deep sleep is over that one has been sleeping and that one was conscious of nothing. I was not conscious of anything, we say. The Mandukya Upanishad is very clear. It says that in the state of deep sleep, why Mandukya Upanishad? All the Upanishads, Vedanta is very clear that in the state of deep sleep, the Atman which is always present was witness to the sleep of the body. The body was sleeping, the mind was sleeping. Witness to the sleep was the Atman. Atman is nothing but consciousness. So one was conscious of the state of ignorance arising from deep sleep. I will repeat. One was conscious in deep sleep of the state of ignorance. It is this cognizance of ignorance that makes us say, after the sleep is over, that I was sleeping, totally oblivious of nothing. I was totally oblivious of nothing is a statement coming from the consciousness which was conscious of ignorance during the sleep. Remember, Atman is present in the three states of consciousness. Not only that, in the state beyond the three states, Mandukya Upanishad, that state is called Turiya, the fourth state. It is a state corresponding to the silence that follows after one has steadily pronounced Om. That silence is Turiya. It is the state of no matra, that is amatra. In that state of silence, consciousness alone is present. There is nothing else, nothing to be cognized, nothing to be conscious of. So when we recite Om, we are advised by the Vedas, by the Upanishads, by the Acharyas, we are advised to meditate on this common substratum of all the three states of experience. In all the three states, this consciousness was present. But now, during the silence that follows the pronunciation of Om, you merge in the consciousness that alone persists as a substratum. This is the truth, whole truth of Vedanta. If you can understand this, if you can realize this, you are done. That consciousness is the Atman or Brahman. This is the symbolism behind the repeated insistence of the Upanishad. It is a reminder of our true state of being. That is why the Om is recited at the beginning and conclusion of every religious rite, reading, or prayer. It indicates, what does it indicate? It indicates that we emanate from Brahman and finally dissolve into it. The soul which leaves the body in the midst of conscious Om recitation is said to merge in Brahman itself, that is, attain moksha. The 8th chapter of the Gita says it. Meditation on Om is recommended for the yogi as a direct path to realization. But the generality of human beings cannot realize the ultimate reality, which is beyond all categories of time, space, and causation. Therefore, the Mandukya Upanishad and its commentator, Gaudapada, recommend the contemplation of the three sound symbols, A, U, and Ma, as the three states of man's totality of experience. Specifically, if one identifies the amatra state, the silent state, amatra state of silence, with the fourth state of experience, and meditates on it without intermission, one realizes oneself. That is what the Upanishad says. There is no return for him to the sphere of empirical life. This is one aspect. We shall now go to the Gayatri. The threefold presentation of reality, Sat, Chit, Ananda, is also reflected in the important mantra, namely Gayatri. The 3 lines of Gayatri mean, literally, Tat, that, Savituhu, of the originator, Varenyam, most excellent, Bhargaha, light, Devasya, of God, Dhimahi, let us meditate. Remember the plural. Dhiyaha, intellects. Yo Naha, he who. Yo Naha, he who, our, prachodayat, may prompt. He who prompts our intellects, let us meditate that light of God, the originator, the most excellent God, the originator. This is the meaning of the Gayatri in terms of direct English translation. Savituhu occurs in the first line. What does it indicate? It indicates origin. Savituhu means originator, origin or birth. So it suggests creation. It is characteristic of the existence aspect of the threefold reality. Sati, Chiti, Ananda. Existence, consciousness, and bliss. Sati. Tat Savituhu. Savituhu. So that Savituhu in the first line indicates origin or birth. That suggests creation and makes it characteristic of the Sat aspect, facet of the Absolute. So this line is the glorification of the Absolute. What does a glorification do? It simply praises the Lord. Varenyam, tatsa vitahu varenyam bhaka. A glorification of a deity simply presents the Lord, praises the Lord as Lord. It does not ask for anything. It does not do anything in the wake of that praise. So the first line of the Gayatri does simply this. The second line asks us to meditate. I think I should also show you the Gayatri slide. Yes. Yeah. So that first line is the glorification. I will come to the other things very shortly. The second line asks us to meditate as if it is the be-all and end-all of life. Meditation itself gives the bliss immanent in the absolute reality. What is meditation? It is nothing but communion. Communion with the divine, worship of the divine. It is therefore the worship aspect of the mantra. So the first line is the glorification aspect. The second line is the worship aspect. So it corresponds to Ananda. The first line corresponds to Sati, existence. The second line corresponds to Ananda. Why is Ananda? Because worship itself, communion itself is bliss. It corresponds to the Ananda aspect of the Absolute. The very meditation is bliss. Bliss is not something which you obtain as a reward from the Lord. To think of Him is bliss. Ask the great devotees, they will tell you. Now come to the third line. The use of the word dhiyaha and prachodayat show that this line is indicative of the chit facet, intelligence, intellect facet of reality. Right? Consciousness aspect. It is also the prayer aspect of the mantra because it says, may my intellect be prompted. Our. Remember, the prayer is for entire humanity. It is not for a single person. Mark this. Those critics who do not understand the value of the Hindu prayers must note this. Yo naha prayachodaya. There is a plural here. It is the person who is reciting the Gayatri is not doing it for his intellect alone, for the intellects of the whole humanity, all of us. It is the intellect that asks for the prompting of the Absolute. That is why this line is the chit facet. Now let us go to a deeper inquiry into the meaning of the mantra. In fact, not only this mantra, but Om. Deeper analysis. We have to analyze the state of sleep and our memory of it. The Satchidananda form is our true nature. We may not know it, but that is it. What does the Advaita Vedanta say on this? It says, when a man wakes from deep sleep, naturally he says, I slept happily. Who is this I that slept happily? Who is this I that slept happily? Certainly it is not the mind, because it was not active at the time when I was sleeping. It cannot recall the happiness of the sleep because it did not experience the happiness. Who is the experiencer? Only the experiencer can recall the experience. The experiencer is the real I, not the false I. The experiencer is the lower I. I'm sorry. The experiencer is the lower I, the false I. The real I, the higher I, I'm sorry, I slipped a little while ago. The experiencer is the lower I. The real I simply watches the experience of the lower I. The real I is immutable reality. It does not go through any change of experience. It always watches. How? Like a street light. What does the street light do? It watches. Things may happen. Tragedy, comedy, whatever. It simply watches. It is the Sakshi. That is the Satchidananda reality. The lower I, the false I, goes and touches it as it were during deep sleep. This is an everyday experience for all of us, for the lower I certainly. That is why it is able to say, I slept happily after every awakening from deep sleep. The happiness it borrows actually. Here there are three assertions, all rolled into one. Happily, I slept happily. Happily indicates there is an ananda, right? I will go back to the Gayatri slide again. So happily indicates there is an ananda, right? Happiness. There is an ananda. You can see it there. Second line. Aham sukham aswapsam. I happily slept. Aham sukham aswapsam. Sukham is happiness. That is the ananda aspect. That is the Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi line. Right? It was experienced during sleep, but it is actually a recall of the association with the ananda of the real I. The real I is nothing but happiness. Satya Chiti Ananda. So the word I slept happily, I indicates the continuity of existence. The I indicates the continuity of existence. It is the I that says, I slept happily. So it was present during the sleep, it is also present now. So there is a continuity of existence between the state of sleeping and the state of waking. Now the slept. Slept indicates the awareness of that sleep. The awareness of belonging to the witness to the sleep. Namely, the real I. Belonging to the real I. We went and merged with the I. In dreamless sleep, deep sleep. Were we conscious or not? We feel we were not conscious. But that is a feeling we have after waking up from sleep. When do I say I was not conscious? During the sleep, we are not saying anything. After sleep, we say we were not conscious. But we do not do so in sleep itself. So, Who feels that in sleep we were not conscious? It is our mind. I was not conscious. It is the mind. But that mind was not present in the sleep. So it is natural for the mind to be ignorant of the consciousness which was there in sleep. Follow me carefully. The mind was not present during sleep, but the mind says, I was not conscious. So it is ignorant of that consciousness which was in the sleep. Not having experienced sleep, mind did not experience. It is unable to remember what it was like. So it makes the mistakes about it. The state of deep sleep is beyond the mind. The state of deep sleep is beyond the mind. Consciousness was present then as consciousness. It is because of that consciousness we are able to say that we were not aware of anything. Take a simple example. In a dark room, we are not able to see anything. But still we have the awareness that we are not able to see anything. For this awareness, no external light is necessary. Every day when we go to sleep, we come back with the memory of a happy sleep because we have gone and touched the true nature of us without our own volitions. Thus, the three lines together of the Gayatri incorporate in a sense the threefold universal practice of all religion: glorification, worship, and prayer. Glorification of the supernatural, worship of the supramental, and prayer to the Almighty. The three lines represent the three different types of propitiation. That is why Gayatri is spoken of in the Vedas as the mother of all Vedas. Gayatri Chandasam Mata Idam Brahma Juraswame. What is the essence of Upanishads? Divinity is everywhere. It is that divinity which energizes us into thought and action. Right? Into thought and action. It is only with the help of that eternal omnipresent divinity that we may ever hope to have a discerning intellect. Which is with that intellect we can see the effervescence of Godhead that is inherent in the visible universe, including ourselves. All this is built into the Gayatri mantra of 3 quarters. That is why Narayana Upanishad and the Taittiriya Brahmana of Yajurveda says, Ojosi Sahosi Belamasi Prajosi Devanam Dhamanamasi Vishwamasi Vishmayuhu Satvamasi Satvamayuhu Abhibhurom. This mantra we repeat during our Sandhyavadana just before Gayatri Avahana. Ojosi, you are the essence. We are addressing the Gayatri. Sahosi, you are patience. You are the subduing power. Balamasi, you are physical capacity. Brajosi, you are the splendor. Devanam Dhama Namasi, you are the abode of gods. Devanam Dhama Namasi, their name. You are their name. Vishwamasi, you are the insentient universe. Vishwamayuhu, you are the full span of life of everybody. Sarvamasi, every living thing. Sarvayuhu, lifespan of all. Abhibhu, the vanquisher of all that is hostile to us. Abhibhu. Om, the Pranava. Gayatri is the mantra of mantras, essence of Vedas, therefore included in the essential part of every religious ritual as pranayama. What is pranayama? It is consisting of 4 things. Pranava, Om, Vyahriti, Bhuvassuvaga, Gayatri then Gayatri Sharas. Oma Pojyotiraso Amritam Brahma Bhuvassuvar Om. Om is always in the beginning, Om is always in the end, like that. According to Manu, this composite formula is to be mentally repeated clearly and attentively. What is the formula? The pranava, Vyahriti, Burbhuvassuva, Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, Om Subha, Om Maha, Om Jana, Om Tapa, Om Satyam. 7 Vyahritis, which denote the 7 words created by Brahma. Pranava is added to each of them because each Vyahriti independently stands for the Supreme. You cannot separate Brahman from any of the material world. Brahman is both the material and efficient cause, Upadana Karana and Nimitta Karana. Therefore, Brahman cannot be separated from any of the creations. Gayatri mantra follows after the Vyahritis. Om Bhu, Om Bhuva, etc. They are the Vyahritis. Vyahriti. So after that, the Gayatri mantra follows. For that Gayatri mantra also, there is an Om in the beginning, Om in the end. This second shows that Gayatri mantra indicates the Supreme. This is succeeded by Gayatri Shiras. Shiras means the head of the Gayatri. It is bracketed by Pranava in the beginning and the end. When a person performs the pranayama and concentrates his thought on this mantra, the latent spiritual tendencies in the depth of his being are awakened, and he becomes fit for communion with the Supreme Reality. Eventually, he realizes the spiritual goal. The very word Gayatri means Gayantam Trayate. It protects those who chant it. What is the meaning of protection? Protecting here is for the sake of the ultimate. It is not your material protection. It is a protection for the ultimate. You reach the goal. Once the path to the ultimate is protected, everything else is protected. Not only those who chant it, but of the very neighborhood, of the environment, of the whole world in which they live. That is the importance of the Gayatri. That is why those who have had the privilege of being initiated into the mantra, they have the added responsibility. Privilege and responsibility. People who have the privilege of chanting the Gayatri, they must have the added responsibility of not allowing it to decay with them. How do you protect the mantras? Mantras have to be protected by repeated chanting and meditation on their meaning and significance. The japa and dhyana on what Gayatri stands for, that has been the cultural heritage of Sanatana Dharma. In spite of the fact that this responsibility has been allocated to only a small fraction of the total population, the power of the mantra is so great that it has been protecting the entire civilization for mankind. So let us come to the rock bottom fundamental question. Can the finite, we are all finite, our minds are finite, everything is finite. Can the finite reach the infinite? Vedanta says it can. The infinite is Satchidananda. It can be reached by finite human being if proper efforts are made. To reach the infinite, moksha is the goal. Once the finite reaches the infinite, there is no coming back to the finite state. In other words, there is no more birth, no more death. So how do you reach, how do you effect this reaching? By a proper discipline of the mind. What is the meaning of proper discipline? That which is, by its very nature, is beyond time. Is means always. Past, present, there's no past, there's no present. It is always, always. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sasaya. So that which is, by its very nature, is beyond time. But thinking by the mind, the very nature of the mind is finite. Thinking, what is its nature? It is a sequence of points in time. Remember, understand thinking. Thinking is a sequence of points in time. Therefore, thinking is finite. Awareness sparked by this thinking is only finite objects. It means, therefore, that in order to contact the infinite, one must go beyond the thought process. I will repeat now. Thinking is finite. Why? Because it is sequence of points in time, thinking. So we have to go beyond the thought process to reach the infinite. By thinking alone, you cannot reach the infinite. So that which is has then to be taken hold of only by the non-action of the thinking function. The thinking function has to stop. The mind must be emptied of all its contents in order that its true nature, awareness, may be revealed. What happens at present? At present, it is always entangled with some thought, so that awareness itself is lost in that thought. The self disappears in that ego thought. The outer eye, the external eye, the false eye, mistakes the object for the subject. When I see something, I think that something exists there. No, something does not exist there. It exists here. So whether the object is outside or the thought inside, right? The outer eye, false eye, mistakes the object for the subject. So who is the villain? The mind. The mind is the villain. And the most villainous part of the mind is, of course, the ego. This is the source of all problems. So in every one of our actions and thoughts, we have to watch this ego, fight it, to minimize its influence, and carry on an internal struggle endlessly. This is the way. Nanyah pantha ayanaya vidyate. There is no other way for moksha. The vast majority of people may think of another way. They may think in a variety of other ways. But history has shown that again and again, the mass mind is very amenable to suggestion and regimentation. Mass mind can be influenced by appeals to lower instincts, narrow prejudices, and baser instincts, and narrow objectives. It is this mass mind that has made religion a formal affair. What does it do? Instead of experience, it is blinded by dogmatic belief. Instead of aspiring for spirituality, it is blinded by scholastic learning. It mistakes scholastic learning for spirituality. By learning things, you are not becoming spiritual. It mistakes charitable work for love. We make enormous efforts to improve our material uplift. All that effort makes us only more and more outward looking, superficial. So we are cut off from the only source of strength, peace, and wisdom. Where is that source? That exists in every one of us. Our limitations and illusions of the mind have to be cast off. The innermost depths of our consciousness, that is where we can realize the whole truth in all its perfection, immanence, and transcendence. The real life of man begins only when he transcends his animal attributes, capacities, desires, emotions, concrete thoughts, and physical needs, and starts living in this higher level of being. There is no other way. Nanyah panthayanaya vidyate, anyah panthayanaya na vidyate. No other way. Constant chanting of the Gayatri in the manner of a disciplined japa and continuous meditation on its meaning will clear the way for us by consuming the accumulated dirt in our minds. That cleansing of the mind will result in a crystal clear mind, which means there is no mind at all. There is no thought. By the grace of God, only the infinite self is all there is. This is the way the finite may reach the infinite. Then there exists only the infinite, never more the finite. I think that finishes our account of the Upanishads. Swasti prajabhya paripalayam nyayena martyena makim makisha go brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam lokas samasta sukhino bhavantu.